We are continuing to follow breaking news out of Moscow. At least 40 dead in a shooting at a concert hall in the Moscow region. That number will likely grow. The concert hall now in flames. There are reports the roof has collapsed. Unclear whether more victims are trapped inside or if the attack is still going on. CNN has geolocated a video showing 4 armed attackers opening fire on their way into the hall, shooting people at close range. There's a screen grab from the video. We're not going to be showing you the rest of it. A Russian reporter at the scene says people were shot at point-blank range, and that is evident in the video and other videos that are out there. The attackers threw incendiary devices as well. In a separate video recorded inside the hall, you can hear the sound of gunfire as people are shot at close range.
General, the context here is also the war in Ukraine and Putin's silence tonight. What do you make of his silence? It's Peskov who has come out and said, his spokesperson, Dmitry Peskov, that Putin is being briefed. But you have the biggest attack in decades on Moscow, scores dead, and Putin is silent?
Yeah, I'm going to address it in what you just asked Bob, Aaron. You know, the 6 nations, the 6 embassies that warned Moscow that this was coming on the 7th of March through classified channels, there's something called a duty to warn. When countries pick up chatter, like Bob just said, on terrorist activities, even if you're giving the information to a foe or a competitor, like Russia is to us, you still have that duty to give that intelligence to their intelligence agency. I would suggest the reason why Putin is being so quiet right now is he's a bit embarrassed. His intelligence agency has received this information. They knew something was going to happen. It was even as specific to say that it could happen in a concert venue, and yet they did nothing about it. As soon as this attack occurred, then other cities in Russia started to pay attention. They shut down a concert in St. Petersburg hours after this started happening. In other cities throughout Moscow, the same thing started happening. So I would guess at least one of the reasons why we haven't heard from Putin is he's a little bit embarrassed that he received information from the West and he didn't act on it.
Beth, what do you make of what we're hearing now of this warning that the U.S. gave about ISIS-K striking in Russia?
Well, I think that, you always want to be careful about jumping to conclusions, but that ISIS and ISIS-K, the unit that is out of Afghanistan, has a lot of reasons to go after Russia. And tomorrow is the 5th anniversary of the official defeat of the ISIS caliphate in Syria and Iraq. And so there's been quite a bit of chatter as well as a couple of other attacks that have been thwarted. Plus you have in Russia, they caught some ISIS-K folks who were about to attack Paris, who were about to attack a synagogue on the 7th. And then on March 3rd, they also killed 6 other ISIS-K gunmen in the North Caucasus region of Ingushetia, which is a Muslim majority area and kind of the hotbed of anti-Putin, anti-war sentiment. So, there's a lot going on here, but it does kind of point to Islamic terrorists.
Yeah, and the Islamist hatred of Russia, of course, rooted in many ways in the Soviet invasion of Afghanistan years ago, and then a lot of terrorists inspired also to join the Chechens in fighting Russia. What do you make of the specific style of this attack? Eyewitnesses report of point-blank shootings of the victims, Molotov cocktails, 4 gunmen with automatic weapons. Apparently they also set a fire that appears to still be raging.
Yeah, it really takes you back to the Chechen terrorists. And all of these folks are linked in this North Caucasus region. I mean, so Chechens, Muslim majority area, the Ingushetians, Dagestan, and they're all, kind of related. So in 2002, they did this attack on a theater in Moscow where very similar gunmen came in, point blank range. And of course, the way that the Russians responded to that, not exactly with precision and sophistication, and hundreds of, 129 people, I think, were killed in that, including the terrorists, but innocent people. And then 2004, kind of a similar attack in Beslan where they took that school. 300 people were killed as a result of the Russian response. So, I mean, in fact, sadly, maybe it's a good thing that the Russians didn't respond to this, and the attack took place.
Yeah.
And it could have been worse.